Welcome back to their daily Marvel Snap deck highlight. Coming at you today with a disruptive Darkhawk deck. Darkhawk getting larger for every card inside of your opponent's deck, making it one of the better off-meta tools you can be brewing with right now because Thanos decks start with 18 cards, meaning Darkhawk is quite large against them even without any additional work. That being said, even if your opponent's not playing a Thanos deck, we have tools such as Korg as well as Rock Slide here to add these rocks into our opponent's deck to not only disrupt the consistency of their draw, but also make our Darkhawk even larger. The disruptive elements of this deck allow it to be reasonably competitive into most things. We have Killmonger to clear all of the one-cost cards off the board. We've got Shang-Chi to clear out large power threats, and we've got Enchantress to clean up any ongoing effects that might be giving you a hard time. At the very top end of the curve in this deck, we are leveraging Sera as a way to give us a big burst at the end of the games. One thing to note when playing Sera out in this deck is that if you are playing a matchup where they could have leech, you're often going to want to eschew playing this card because if your opponent leeches you, it doesn't matter if you're playing a bunch of cards on the final turn. That being said, in the non-leech matchup, Sera is still quite potent and worth the inclusion here. At any rate, I think you'll see from the game highlights that I have for you here today, this deck can be competitive even into things like Thanos. If you enjoy what you see, remember to snap that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I post deck highlights like this looking to attack the meta here 7 days a week. I'd love to see you back again, but for the rest of today, enjoy some Darkhawk Disruptive Sera. It's unfortunate that they had Space Stone into Infinite. I was hoping our, 14 power Hawk would be able to win middle here, but we're probably just dead now. That's a Killmonger. Can that win us the game? This means we're only tied on the right. They do have Lockjaw here, so the hope is we gamble into 8 winning here. We did just put 3 rocks into their deck. All right, yellow. All right, so it's gonna come down to a breaker here because we're gonna be tied on the right. I think we're good, right? Yeah, because we're up by 7 on the left. Close game. Skillmonger takes one off of Thanos for us. By the single point. The tiebreaker in Marvel Snap is total power. So we're up by 7, they're up by 6, so we win the breaker by 1. All right, Jesus, take the wheel. Sometimes lucky rubber ducky. That's actually not a terrible one to play into the Cloning Vats either. Because Cloning Vats will give us back a Wolfsbane that has 7 power. I'll do it again, I swear. Yeah, so let's go ahead and Wolfsbane here into the Vats. And then we'll get Sera played on 5. We'll get leeched on 6. We'll pack it up, pack it in. There's a world where they leech us and this Sera still wins the game, right? Because we just have 7 stat and 5 stat and then something else here too. doke. So I assume we're done here then, right? Yeah, I should Wolfsbane and then Killmonger. So that way Wolfsbane sees the Korg to get bigger. Yeah. Good night. We actually didn't even need the Killmonger, huh? We're just gonna beat them with the big Wolfsbane in the middle. Well, when we don't get leeched, feels okay. Victory. I don't want to play Korg into the Necrotia. Would Titania flip before Galactus triggers? No, Titania jumps across the board after all of the on-reveal effects have resolved and the card's fully in play. Alright, Alice, getting a weird bug where the game is stuck on reconnecting the final turn. Yeah. It happens sporadically. And not just on the final turn either, it just like randomly disconnects or some kind of connection sync issue this patch. Huh. They Mr. Negative this turn? No, I think they're just Mr. Negative and they wanted to play the Mystique on curve for tempo purposes. Us having priority going into the last turn is not great. Gross. I think it's better to buy Thanos or Galactus. Checked out the pin message for my Series 4 and 5 tier list that was updated today. They still have 4 cards in their deck. Did their Jade even draw anything? Oh, we put 3 rocks in their deck too. That's super true. But their Jade could have drawn the rocks, right? Because the rocks are zeros when they negative. There are two rocks in their deck. God, I'm talking myself into staying. You should Shang the Thor. Yeah, it's probably the case. I think I'm gonna pay him out, Chip. But everything goes according to plan, and you still lose. Yeah, the J negative deck is something. The Punisher from the hub was huge. I mean, if I hadn't had the Punisher, I would have played the Enchantress here, right? And we would have been down 2, but we still would have won. Well, no, not even necessarily like the Iron Man was in their hand, but remember, Jane only draws you up to 7, and she could draw them the rocks that they Mr. Negatived.
I am Ego, and this is my domain.
Harry and I have our own private battle mode this morning. My kingdom for slightly better Marvel stat matchmaking. Good job, Ego. Appreciate you. Oh God, Ego and Titania. Okay. Welcome to Tanya's chat. Okay. Ego has won a location. Ego has won a location. Let Ego cook. So, we can't beat Harry this morning. However, Ego playing both decks seems to allow us to beat Harry today. We were due. Maybe we'll see. Yo, Ego gets to see what cards we're playing before it plays its cards on the other side of the board. It's zeroed Green Goblin. Oh, oh, poor Harry. And it carnaged the Apocalypse. What a rigged game. That $100 bill I send to Broad every month is well spent. That's all for today. Snap the like button if you enjoyed it, and check back in again tomorrow for another highlight.